it's a 1934, as you explained, the fixed head coupe. There's 154 produced, 152 that went out to the public, 2 were retained as parks vans, I think, 3 known to the register at the moment in the fixed head coupe version.
You stored it yourself?
Yes, over a 10-year period. 1990, finished in 2000.
Maybe the first time, because the company was called SS Cars in the 1930s. It wasn't until the end of the very, very important cars. About 20,000 of these cars were produced up to the outbreak of the Second World War, including a few of these beautiful, virtually handcrafted drop-in coupe versions. After the war, the SS name was dropped, Jaguar Cars Limited was born in its own right, and this is an example of one of the posters couldn't afford to keep it. Now I can. But it was a lot cheaper in those days, wasn't it? It was given to me as a student, so this one wasn't. To the pre-war designs of Elvis and Legendre and Bentley and manufacturers like that, but of course at a more advantageous price. But the first new car post-war was a car like the example coming into the arena now. Under the skin, this is essentially the same engine as you see in the green drop-in coupe. But this car was called the Mark V, and it was released at the Motor Show in 1948. Today, what we'd probably call an interim model. It was using some of the pre-war technology, but grafted onto some new technology as well to create an interim model for a couple of years until Jaguar could introduce their new top-flight luxury saloon. It's longer, it's taller, it's wider, it's heavier. It has the pushrod 6-cylinder engine that was derived from standard, but by this time when the engines were manufactured, it was the flagship saloon that was going to take the company well into the 50s, expand their export sales dramatically. And one of the most important cars Jaguar produced in the 50s, that's the Mark 7 design you see here. It has that new chassis on the independent front suspension. It now has the fabulous 6-cylinder XK power unit, probably 100, amazing, like one of these cars itself, and you'd be amazed how well they handle, even in today's terms. This is a particular lovely example that belongs to John Butterworth, one-time member of the club from Makeup. John, tell us about your car.
Well, my car's a 1955, it's a Mark 7M. I've owned the car for 16 years. The car's covered 22,000 miles from new. When I bought the car, I wasn't looking for one of these cars. I came across this car, and it had 6,500 miles on the clock. So I just had to buy the car, and it had a new coat of paint because the paint was literally just polished away. And a little bit of chrome work, and apart from a little bit of cosmetics, it's had no real major mechanical work, and it's just given really, really good service, and it's
61. The next example coming into the rally field is the Mark 8, which effectively, under the skin, is the same car. The car's been enhanced bodily with the addition of more chromium-plated trim. A lot of the cars were produced in two-tone colour schemes, like what John just saw, and the Mark 9 that followed it shortly. The Mark 8, a lot of the cars were produced with manual transmission, but for 1953, automatics were available as well. So that's the next development, and putting it alongside John's, when you come into the arena and have a look at the cars, you can spot the differences yourself, which are quite significant actually, although basically it's essentially the same car underneath. Thank you, that's the Mark 8. Which brings us to the last development of the flagship saloons of the 50s, which is the Mark 9 coming into the arena now. Lovely example. The Mark 9 essentially looks exactly the same as the Mark 8 you've just seen. They were produced in two-tone colour schemes as well as single-tone like this one. There is externally no difference to the two cars here, except for the badging on the back which says Mark 9, which is the next development. There are minor changes to the interior of the car, but not significant to speak of. But the most important aspect is now the engine size has been increased. The Mark 7s and the Mark 8 have the 3.4 litre engine, whereas the 3.0. So this is the Mark 9, which continued into production until 1961, and the car belongs to
Richard Beverley.
Have you had the car, Richard?
Well, I've been looking for one for a long time, and I saw it on eBay at the end of May, and I went to look at it, and I liked the owner, and I liked the car, but the price went up and up and up and up and up, and I lost it. And then after about 3 days, after 3 days at the end of the eBay sale, the owner rang me, and he said, look, I can't find the guy who's bid all this money for this car. Are you interested? interested? And I said, well, I'm interested, but not at that price. And so we did a deal. And there we are. So I've owned it, to answer your question, it's a bit long-winded, I've owned it since the 6th of June, D-Day. Done 1,000 miles.
So you obviously like the car.
I think the car's...
First, why did you buy... What? Using the signal. Why did you buy it in the first place?
I've always wanted one.
Are you not disappointed? Excellent. Wonderful. Very few people who buy these cars are ever disappointed. They look large, they're bulbous, they look a lot to handle, particularly in today's road condition. Is the 3.4 litre Mark 1 compact saloon. The original compact saloon came out at the motor show in 1955 with a 2.4 litre version of the XK power unit. It was a great success. William Lyons realised the potential to put it to Mark 1. Come and have a look at that car in the field. And we also have another example, the black example belonging to the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust. That's a rather special car, it belongs to the Furrow Racing driver family. And it's a car that we were significantly involved with as a club in refurbishing for the Trust a few years ago. It's still being featured in the magazine. A beautiful example, and that one actually has automatic transmission. But moving on, or backwards should we say, back to 1948 again, when the motor show at the same time that white and silver Mark V was launched, the fantastic XK120 sports car came out. This is a beautiful example here. That's my concept car. How long you have the car now?
40 years next year.
Fantastic. Do you still love it as much as when you first had it?
Yes, very much. Every day.
This is every day. What's so special about XK120?
The lines. The lines. There's no doubt that, in my opinion, it's the best looking car. Definitely.
Fixed head coupe, the single fixed head coupe 120 we have. Unfortunately, we can't find the driver at the moment. But if you look at the 50s display afterwards, it's a white example. Fixed head coupe, it's worth having a look at because it's a lovely example again. And again, it shows how well the design adapted, the styling adapted from a roadster to a fixed head coupe. And those early fixed head coupes were real grand touring sports cars because it was so unusual against sports cars with a proper tin roof, with wind-up windows and warped veneer dashboards. It wasn't heard of in 1950, but William Lyons produced them and they were a fantastic car. The XK120 was such a great model, sports example. It set the panache, the image for the company, which the saloons rode on. But of course, like all cars, they need to be developed, upgraded and changed. And hence, in 1954, the new version came out, the XK140, which you see an example here. Externally, it looks pretty similar to the 120. This example's got wire wheels, where the roadster was manned for the North American market particularly. This was all the fixed head coupe version, which gave it the advantage of the more grand touring type of finish to the cars. Engines were upgraded with these cars and they continued to production until 1957, so continuing the theme. But a beautiful example. Come and spend some time and have a look at these cars. We've got another example of the XK120 here. This is the drop head coupe. Because William Lyons identified that you could produce similar cars for different markets. So the market for a roadster, for the sporty car, was very different to the market for the drop head coupe, like this one, because the drop head of the XK power unit that we're celebrating today. 1957, 50 years ago, the XK150 was launched, like the example coming into the arena here. This is the drop head coupe version again, so if you like, it's an upgraded version of the silver 140 drop head that's just parked up. It's like a crash padding by the period of the day, more accommodation space of course, and a cleaner look to the hood arrangement of the roadster and the drop head coupe version. So that's the drop head coupe version, and I think we have an example of the fixed. Okay, 50th anniversary of the XK150 as well today. Here's an example of the fixed head coupe, more grand touring version of the cars if you like. And if you'll line up with the others, you've got an excellent viewing position from outside the arena at the top by the marquee area, because if you look down you can see the development of the XK backwards from the XK150 coupe right there is to the original XK120 roadster. Quite a lovely, interesting and rare sight, and a great photo opportunity because you can see how the exterior design and the interior design of the cars has changed over that 13-year period from 1948 to 1961. So, to recap, we have here the XK120 through the XK150, and the XK150 is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Well, please take time to help with that. It's too big to go in the arena and too heavy.